federal court has blocked North Dakota's voter ID law, bringing the total now to 6 states whose voting restrictions have been struck down in 2 weeks. In his ruling, the judge criticized North Dakota for laws that discriminate against Native Americans. On Friday, courts in North Carolina, Wisconsin, and Kansas set back Republican attempts to restrict voting. The rulings came after judges found voter ID laws discriminatory in Texas and Michigan. After the Supreme Court struck down a key provision of the Voting Rights Act in 2013, lawmakers previously subject to the pre-clearance requirements of Section 4 rushed to pass restrictions on voter eligibility. The Brennan Center for Justice is reporting that 15 states will have new voting restrictions in place for the first time in a presidential election, from strict voter ID requirements to reductions in early voting. In 2012, 10 major voting restrictions were blocked in court before the election, eliminating major impediments to the ballot box that millions of voters faced. We could be seeing a similar trend in 2016. In North Carolina, a U.S. Circuit Court ruled that legislators had passed the law to target African Americans with almost surgical precision and impose cures for problems that did not exist, noting that lawmakers had requested voter data and used it to enact legislation that restricted voting and registration in 5 different ways, all of which disproportionately affected African Americans. In Wisconsin, a federal judge threw out residency requirements and early voting restrictions. The previous week, another federal court ordered the state to expedite issuing IDs to anyone having difficulty obtaining one. A federal appeals court found Texas's voter ID law, reportedly the strictest in the country, disproportionately affects Black and Hispanic voters. A county judge overturned Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach's order to suspend 18,000 voter registrations for people who didn't show proof of citizenship. A federal court threw out Michigan's ban on straight ticket voting because it would lead to longer delays at the polls and disproportionately affected African American voters. In his majority opinion overturning Section 4 of the VRA, Chief Justice Roberts basically wrote that racism was over and that the law needed to reflect current conditions. Given the nature of the events that have unfolded since the ruling, the Chief Justice might just want to revisit his opinion. If you found the information in this video helpful, go ahead and share it with a friend. And don't forget to click on the subscribe button so you can find us again.